I'm always on the lookout for unique knives to waste my money on that I won't use. And a while back on my traditional folding knife overview, longtime subscriber, I know I'm going to get this wrong, John Tadiquin, suggested some interesting, reasonably priced international knives, like the long stabby ones seen here, and not just the stock, why are there no Victorinox or Swiss Army knives, like a half dozen other people did. He's an OG commenter. I'm talking like Gonzo Knife Day Review, when only guys like Blue Mountain Bushcraft, Cum Unsaz, Martial Law 123, Not Too Sucky Reviews, and Sailfish Sound System were commenting. I mean, others commented too, but they are no longer with us. I mean, not like they are no longer with us, but more like they got other shit to do, and this channel sucks balls. Then, of course, there's like 10 other people I'm overlooking, and they'll let me know in the comments below how they've never been disrespected like this, and also why not more Victorinox. So this Curel Estiletto Portuguese pocket knife in 5 sizes was a knife he suggested, and I want to say only available at one retailer in the US, Fendrihan, in several smaller sizes, all ranging from $18 to $30 before shipping. I, of course, like a standard asshole American, got the biggest one, or the 9.6 inches size, which refers to the open length in inches. But before we get into anything else, let's check out the dimensions, like the overall length and weight. They also come in 4.7, 6, 7, 8.6 inches, and of course this one is the 9.6-ish, ordinary everyday guy. Blade size, cutting edge. It's long and thin. Not just small, thin, like Twizzler thin. Handle size and grip area. Well, that's pretty. It's got brass and wood, 2 signs of wealth. Well, I mean, brass is kind of for people who can't afford gold, the poor losers. Spine thickness, handle thickness. But it's a long and thin pocket carry. It doesn't take up much more room in your pocket than, say, a fancy tactical pen, but without a pocket clip. Tallness is one tallness. It's low profile. It's like a Twizzler, look! No one's going to get that one. The Curel Estiletto, they will now that they Google it. The Curel Estiletto is not necessarily a stiletto street punk knife, but a little more like a Lagoule style knife from France. But since the Portuguese don't have B's, they left that off the design. Don't believe me? Look it up. Remember, to argue on the internet, one only has to follow a basic structure. First, make a ridiculous claim. Everyone mocks me, tells me Portugal definitely has bees. Then I offer back shaky anecdotal evidence and post a link to something. I say, well, I've never seen any there, and here's an article that says there's no bee populations in Portugal. Which of course is a lie, because the article is about bee populations in Portugal. Then at that point, when everyone's arguing with me, I move on to the next topic, which is naturally that no human could survive the radiation in the Van Allen belt. The Estiletto has a long, thin blade. It's swedgeless, so it's not really a saber or a spear point. So I guess I could just conjugate the word modified with whatever the hell I feel like, and it would be right. Modified spear point, with a mirror polished flat grind. Works well for letters and envelopes, legal documents. You getting sued by somebody? Cool. Curel doesn't list this knife on their official site. However, some of their Lagoule style knives claim to use 440 stainless. No word if it's A, B, or C, so who knows? And also, if they were made in Portugal, then they wouldn't be true Lagoule knives, just copied in the style of, or gonzofied. The blade is a non-locking slip joint that's fairly easy to pull. There's no thumb nick, so you place one hand on the handle and 2 dainty fingers to pull the slick blade open. It doesn't snap into place open, it just kind of fades silently into place without a click. To close it, just push it closed, and I might suggest 2 hands to keep the blade from snapping into the liner and dinging up the edge, because it does have a brass liner. I assume it's brass and not real gold, right? Who cares? Gold painted lead. The handle, it's mainly 2 pieces of brass with olive wood scales. Inlays, these parts right here. Fit and finish is just okay, and if you look around, there are some slight gaps where the wood meets the brass, which is a big deal to knife guys. I was watching a hella nitpick OMG is crap video the other day where a guy pointed out these tiny little areas on the handle and said the knife was unacceptable. He has way more views on that video than any of my knife reviews, so maybe he's onto something. I mean, hella may be asking for it if one of their videos is literally titled There are no shortcuts to perfection. Let me pull out my magnifying glass. Hella? The brass has some file work, some triangles, and lines to sexify it a little, I guess. Are we at comparisons? The Estiletto is alright. It's a thin pocket carry. It feels like a long letter opener. It's a great way to describe it. I like locking knives with clips more because that's what I've been programmed to like. Plus, it's great that knife technology has evolved so much in the past 30 years that most knives have clips now. What did we do before? Did we have pockets? When did pockets become a thing? If I had to choose a long, thin knife, I'd go with the Benchmade Fact. People have been asking me lately if the Mini Crooked River was still my favorite new Benchmade knife, and I tell them it's the Fact, even though I've said that in many videos, so that means they don't watch all of them, which is definitely understandable. The Fact has all the modern conveniences of locks and a clip so that it doesn't float around in the bottom of my pocket like a traditional, and it has a tactical new world charm because it's murdered the fuck out. Now the Laguel. This is a smaller one. Remember, I thought it was a bigger one, but because the eBay description didn't have numbers, I was tricked. I don't think I'll ever get around to reviewing it. However, I did review this knife, so maybe there's a chance for a waste of 7 minutes of your time in the future. That one has a bee on it, like this guy pointed out, you know? It's a very famous bee, not a fly. I've been corrected several times. Now how about some Duke Duke? Yeah, Duke Duke in your life. This is the larger one, remember, that I just did the video on. A much harder to open knife because of the non-mushy back spring. Both the Estiletto and this are non-locking slip joints though, but you knew that because you're a genius. The Estiletto is a desktop drawer curiosity. It looks like it's old, but it ain't. It would do great with letters and light paper products, and then you stare at it for a few seconds in your hand and go, this is cool, and then put it away like you do the rest of your knife collection. If you like this sort of review, subscribe to the channel, give the video a thumbs up, donate to my Patreon to help me fill up my plastic containers full of shit like this. Leave a comment like those OGs mentioned above. And Jesus Christ, I know this sets a bad precedent, but hey, here's your shout out. Remember, none of the other guys asked for a shout out. Thanks for watching.